District Court of New South Wales is now in session. Be seated, please.
When you're ready, counsel.
May it please the court, my name is Wu. I'm here on behalf of the Crown.
May it please the court, my name is Justin Ho, and I appear on behalf of the defense. May it please the court.
May it please the court. Your Honour, this is a charge under Section 38A of the New South Wales Crimes Act. The Crown alleges that on the 20th of April 2024, that Claire Harmon Sparks did spike the drink of Lorena van der Digby with intoxicating substances with the intention to harm Ms. Digby. The onus is on the Crown to prove all elements beyond a reasonable doubt. The elements are below. First, that Ms. Harmon Sparks caused the drink to be given and consumed by Ms. Digby by preparing it and making it available to her. Second, that the drink had intoxicating substances. Third, that Ms. Digby was not aware of the intoxicating substances. And fourth, that Ms. Harmon Sparks intended to cause such harm. The Crown expects that Ms. Digby today will be giving oral evidence to the court. This is what I expect she will say. I expect Ms. Digby to say that she is married to Armand Digby, who is the ex-husband of Ms. Harmon Sparks. I also expect that Ms. Digby would say that she was best friends with Ms. Harmon Sparks. On the 20th of April 2024, Ms. Digby attended a Parents and Citizens Association gala to claim her award for the most valued parent. She met Ms. Harmon Sparks there, they had a conversation, and Ms. Harmon Sparks volunteered to get her some punch. But upon drinking such punch, Ms. Digby vomited on stage when she was collecting her award and later had diarrhea, symptoms which are consistent with laxative overdose. Ms. Digby at no point in time did consent to the laxatives or any other intoxicating substance being put in her drink. And I expect from the evidence that you will find beyond reasonable doubt that Ms. Harmon Sparks intended to cause this harm in order to get back at Ms. Digby for depriving her of her family. Ms. Digby from this situation has suffered extensive humiliation. At the end of the evidence, the Crown will have proven beyond a reasonable doubt all of these elements. We ask that Your Honour return a verdict of guilty. May it please the court. Your Honour, I call Lorena van der Digby to the stand. Ms. Digby, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
And can you see me clearly?
Yes.
Ms. Digby, I understand that it's your first time giving evidence. It's daunting. What I'm going to propose to do is to lead you through a few introductory questions just to get you settled in. Okay? Okay. Could you please state your full name to the court?
Lorena van der Digby.
And how old are you?
45.
Where do you live?
I live in Roseville with my current husband, Armand Digby, and my two Welsh boys.
And where else do you live?
Also, every second week, my stepson, Barnaby.
So I want to talk to you about your relationship with Claire, so Ms. Harmon Sparks. How did you guys meet?
So, Claire and I became friends on the first day of our class, and that was when I was 4 years old. We remained firm friends all throughout our schooling lives from prep to year 12, and we were close for several months after graduation when we toured Europe, and we've carried our closeness in our adult life.
Were you involved in any significant events of Ms. Harmon Sparks' life?
I was maid of honor at Claire's wedding.
How do you feel about this wedding?
At the time, I was happy for Claire and Emma, but it became very clear that soon after the marriage, it was a tumultuous one.
Why do you say that?
It was quite a difficult marriage because on many occasions I was needed to comfort both Claire and Emma, and I did that through many sleepless nights on the phone with both of them listening to their one-year baby.
And what was the result of this conflict?
As a result of that conflict, during that time, I actually developed a relationship with Emma, and in 2023, he left Claire to marry me.
So you are the godmother of Barnaby, correct?
Correct.
And could you please describe your relationship with Barnaby?
My relationship with Barnaby, I had a pretty, so far, it has been one that is fulfilling. I've been very active in his life, and he stays with me and his father every second week, and we've had lots of wholesome family dinners.
Your Honour, objection on the grounds of relevance under Section 56 of the Evidence Act.
You rephrase your question, Councillor.
The question was just that describe the relationship between Miss Digby and her godson, Barnaby. It is relevant, Your Honour, because it speaks to the relationship between the son, which would be a motive for why Miss Harlan-Sparks committed the accused act.
Oh, right.
Thank you. Miss Digby, how else were you involved in this, in Barnaby's life?
For him, I also joined the Parents and Citizens Association at Barnaby School, which was not school for landlords. And I was actually told by my friend Bertrand Gross that I was still a member of PNC due to my contributions, and I was going to receive an award at our upcoming ceremony.
So, Miss Digby, the event in question happened on what day?
It was on the Wednesday, 20th April.
And what happened on that day?
It was a PNC Gala dinner, and it was to raise funds for the Rowan Foundation, which supported orchestras around the country.
And how do you feel about this?
So I look forward to the night because I was heavily involved in the execution, but also felt a bit apprehensive because it was probably my first time seeing Claire since my nuptials.
What time was the gala set to start?
It was set to start at 6 p.m, but I was running late, so I arrived at 7.
And who was there when you arrived?
Claire was there.
And where was she?
She was seated several tables away from me, and by the time I arrived, she was clearly agitated by my presence.
Objection, Your Honour, to agitation on the grounds of opinion.
Your Honor, I'm happy to strike that out. Just continue. Yeah. How else could you describe that?
She was glaring at me, and to clear the air, I decided to be a bigger person and approach her.
So you said you approached Claire. Could you please describe how that went?
So I greeted her and said, Claire, I wanted us to go back to the way we were. I miss you and I need my best friend. And in response to that, Claire smiled at me. She did seem a bit insincere and
Objection, Your Honour, to insincerity on the grounds of opinion again.
Which part?
She seemed insincere.
I'm happy to strike that out. It's okay. Yeah. Continue in a minute. Miss Digby.
and she said, of course, I miss you too, and we should never let silly men get between us.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, I wanted to defend my husband, but I just held back and agreed with her.
And could you please tell us what else developed in this conversation?
Well, we talked for a while after that. I told her about my many contributions to the PNC and also my increased studying skills. And she told me about her foreign politics job and her newfound passion for alternative medicines.
And how did this conversation end?
By the end of it was we were laughing. It was actually quite joyous. We were laughing like old times, and she ended up offering to get me a glass of punch.
And who went to get the glasses of punch?
I was going to go with her, but one of the other women at the table caught my attention, so Claire went off by herself.
And while she was getting the punch, what did you see?
So when she stood up, first of all, she looked a little drunk because she was teary, and I watched her go across the room, head to the punch bowl, and fill 2 glasses with the punch. Although she lingered around the punch bowl a little longer than I expect, and also I saw her hands move suspiciously around one of the
Objection,
dishes.
Your Honour, to suspiciously on the grounds of opinion.
On my submission, it is a lay opinion per section 78. It is necessary to understand the witness's perception of the offence at that time.
Yes, I will allow that.
Thank you. So, Miss Digby, what happened after she got the glasses of punch?
So we returned to the table, and she said they were both glasses. I reached the one nearest to me, but she insisted I take the other.
And at this point, could you please describe how she was at that point?
So she smirked at me and said bottom up, and I picked the other one she insisted me to take, and we both drank our glasses in one hit.
And what happened after you drank your punch?
I returned to our table and had a glass or 2 of champagne and chatted to others at my table.
Thank you, Ms. Digby. I'd like to take you now to the awards ceremony. About what time was that going to start?
That was supposed to start at 10.
And how were you feeling before it was started?
Before then, so about 15 minutes before, I was beginning to feel a little nauseous, but I just assumed that I was a bit nervous for the upcoming ceremony.
And how did you feel at 10 when the ceremony started?
When it officially started, I was feeling quite unwell by that point. I could hear my stomach gurgling, I was getting cramps and feeling a bit woozy.
And by the time what time were you going to get up and accept the award?
10:10.
And how did you feel when you went up to accept the award?
When I went up, I could feel my legs shaking and my gut sloshing. And then when I was shaking the piercing person's hand, my nausea reached a climax and I started to spew.
So could you please describe to us what you mean by spew?
The spew, I ended up vomiting on the president's shoes and on my own shoes. And I tried my best to restrain myself, but I couldn't.
And so how did you respond to this spewing?
I just ran off the stage and through a dining hall and towards the bathroom. I could feel everyone's desk and it was very uncomfortable.
And whilst you were running off, what could you get?
I could also distinctly hear Claire's laugh.
So you mentioned that you went to a ladies' room. What happened in there?
Once I got to the ladies' room, I locked myself in the cubicle, and in the cubicle I got several more periods of diarrhea and also continued vomiting. And I felt more sick than my entire
And yeah, thank you for cutting me off. Yeah. By what time did you leave the bathroom?
I left the bathroom Thursday morning.
And what happened after the Thursday morning?
So after Thursday morning, I went to the GP. That was Thursday afternoon. When I described my symptoms to him, he asked me if I could have been anyone who slipped anything that I drink because it seemed like I had been
Objection,
poisoned.
Your Honour, to what the GP is saying on the matter of hearsay evidence. GP is
Your Honour, I would like to omit this evidence per section 60. I would like to omit it for a non-hearsay purpose, more specifically to speak to why Ms. Digby later snuck into Ms. Harmon Sparks' house to try and confirm her suspicions. It is relevant in that respect.
Is it relevant for a non-hearsay purpose?
Yes, which is to speak to the state of mind of the witness as to why she snuck in to Ms. Harmon Sparks' apartment.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Digby, what happened the weekend after that?
So the weekend after, I knew Claire was taking part of me out for soccer practice. I snuck into her apartment and I found laxative medication in her bathroom cabinet.
Objection, Your Honour, to the admission of laxative medication under section 138(1). This was evidence obtained in contravention of Chinese law. She has committed at least trespass on land.
Your Honour, I have a few submissions on that point. Firstly, Your Honour, as I understand the Evidence Act, it is the form of the evidence which, if illegal, is not to be admitted. So if a illegal warrant was used to secure DNA evidence, it would be illegal. In this sense, Your Honour, my witness is only telling us about what happened whilst committing an illegal act. If we are to use my learned friend's interpretation of the Evidence Act, it would mean that some witness describing a break and enter, somehow that evidence would be inadmissible. Because that, in my submission, Your Honour, the evidence should be admitted.
Do you have any feeling against that?
Yes, Your Honour. There is a difference between what my learned friend suggests, which is witnessing an illegal act, and evidence which is obtained directly as a result of performing an illegal act. It is in substance very different to the warrant example my learned friend referred to. The warrant and the break and enter are both causative of obtaining the evidence.
Your Honour, in that sense, then I would like to put my learned friend to the test of the prescribed section. It is a balancing test, and we must weigh the undesirability of admitting the evidence that has been obtained in an illegal way with the desirability of admitting the evidence. And to determine that, I rely on subsections 3A. It has high probative value to this. The laxatives greatly affect the probability of the existence of a fact in issue that Ms. Harmon Sparks did intentionally spike the drink. And also 3B, it is important to the proceedings because there is no other evidence that there were laxatives present in this incident. This is the only evidence of the laxatives, and therefore it is greatly important, and that is my submission why it should be admitted.
Yes, I allow that.
Thank you. Ms. Digby, I have just one last question for you. Did you at all consent to having laxatives or any other intoxicating substance being put in your drink?
No.
No further questions, sir.
mistake B, you'd agree that your statement is complete, yes?
Yes.
You wouldn't intentionally leave anything out?
No, I wouldn't.
No. And your memory is pretty good, yes?
Yes.
And you'd agree you're a fairly observant person?
Yes.
So if something was odd or stood out on the night, it would have been your statement, right? If something was odd, you would have put it in your statement, yes?
Yes.
And so just to sum up what we've really talked about, if you say that if something isn't in your statement, then it didn't happen, right?
Yes.
Now, firstly, I'd just like to chat a bit about the punch that Claire gave you. So you've had punch before, correct?
Correct.
And can you please describe the punch classes?
The punch classes, they were identical. Classes themselves.
Right, how big are they?
Just about this size. This size.
Okay, it's fairly large then. And taking you to paragraph 9 of your statement, you didn't mention anything out of the ordinary about punch, did you?
No.
No. So based on my earlier questions about your statement, you'd agree that there wasn't anything out of the ordinary about punch, yeah?
At the time of consumption, I did not see anything that was out of ordinary.
Yeah, so the classes were colorful? As in the liquid in the glasses.
The glasses,
The liquid in the glasses.
the liquid in glasses, they looked approximately the same.
So the same or not?
The same.
And to clarify, you said in paragraph 9, you drained the glass in one hit, correct?
Correct.
Now that's a pretty, and you said it was a pretty large glass, right? You must have drank for a pretty long time then?
Long time. It was about this big, so filled to that point. So yeah, I wouldn't say long time, but reasonable time. I cannot give you an accurate estimate.
No worries. And now, just going back to the glasses really quickly, they were filled to the same level, weren't they?
Yes.
And now, taking you to the moment where you drank the punch, did it taste like punch?
It tasted like punch. I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. And so, just to sum up everything we've talked about, there was absolutely nothing out of the ordinary about the punch, was there?
At the time of drinking,
Yes, that time of drinking.
no, I did not feel anything out of it.
Okay. Then I put it to you that what you drank was punch.
I cannot.
I'm objecting on. I didn't clarify the question is whether you drink punch or do you drink punch with laxatives in it or intoxicating substances in
I
it.
put it to you that at the time you drank the punch, there was nothing that indicated there were anything in that other than alcohol and whatever it is in punch.
The punch, everything inside the drink, no. But through observations, when she went up and filled the punch, yes.
Now, and so, taking you then to paragraph 7, you arrived at 7:30 p.m., correct?
I arrived at 7:30.
And you began vomiting at 7:30, correct? Sorry, not 10:30.
10:10.
Yes. My apologies, I retract that question. So, from the moment you drank the punch to when you began vomiting, that would have been about 2.5 hours, correct?
Yes.
And after the punch, you say you had a glass or two, correct? Of
Sure.
champagne.
Sure.
Did you have one glass or did you have two? Do you remember?
Cannot. My memory was better at the time writing statement, so I cannot remember.
Okay, so you don't remember what you drank.
I knew it was champagne because it was filled in it.
You don't remember how much you drank.
Well, my memories are better at the time of making the statement.
Yes, yes,
I don't-
question.
I don't-
And so when you got up your pride, you were feeling pretty woozy, right?
Little bit.
You must have felt pretty uncomfortable given your shaky legs and your burning stomach.
Yes.
And you were pretty focused on keeping your nausea down, correct?
Yes.
And you wouldn't have been focusing on much else.
Other than keeping my notion down, also doing the performing all the steps necessary to accept the award.
Yes, so you wouldn't focus on two things then, keeping your nausea down and accepting the award. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
And you couldn't have been focusing on much else then, given these two steps.
No, because the nausea was. Yes.
And so you couldn't have been sure of anything else that was happening around you at the time?
At the time of accepting the award, no.
Okay. And so you say that in your statement you heard Claire's distinctive laugh, yes?
Yes, that was after accepting the award,
So
after the
you were
award.
in less pain when you started vomiting?
When I spewed and moved towards the ladies' bathroom, I could hear Claire's distinctive laugh. That's how significant it was, and how I guess it attests to how like in the room how significant it was compared to all the other.
Right,
other
but
things
at the
accepted.
time you were actively vomiting. Indeed, you just vomited over the president's shoes.
Yes, I just wanted to look at the shoes.
And you were running to the bathroom.
Yes.
And at the time, you would have been, I imagine, quite nauseous.
After the first vomit,
Yes,
You-
we're not done with the vomit part.
Yeah.
You were still vomiting at the
Yeah.
time you were running.
sure, okay.
And so, this is your first gala, right? This is the first time you've attended the gala.
Yes, it's the first time.
And are you familiar with the location?
I have put a lot of effort into execution, so yes, I was familiar with the location.
And so, there were a lot of people in the room, correct?
There were people in the room, yes, a lot of
Was there any ambient sound?
ambient sound. Ambient sound.
Did you hear anything else?
Other than Claire,
No.
maybe.
Not even a peep.
Sorry. Ambient sound, yes. Ambient sound, yes.
Yeah.
Not loud shouting, whatever. Yeah, yes, there was something.
And what sound was it?
Just people, I guess moving their feet around. Some people, like just people's little actions, physical actions.
Yeah. Now, let's talk a bit about Claire's laugh. You say it's distinctive. How is it distinctive?
It's in my experience with
Right.
it. Yes.
What makes it different to, say, a normal person?
best friends for a long period of time, and then afterwards, we obviously had the role of sharing her wedding.
Yes, but I'm asking what makes her laugh distinctive?
Her laugh.
Yes.
Sorry, not laugh. What makes her laugh distinctive? Her laugh, I guess it was quite high pitched, so it was very different to, I guess, the ambient voices from what I can heard from the physical figures. So
So
it was
you
quite high.
heard a high-pitched laugh then?
And that kind of laugh, I guess, it was, I knew it was her because all throughout our interactions, she laughed in that specific way.
I'm going to put it to you that throughout this entire process, you were distracted. As in from accepting the prize to the running all the way to the bathroom.
Distracted by what exactly?
You were distracted by vomiting.
Yes, I was vomiting, that is a fact, but
And so were you distracted by it?
I don't think it impaired me to the extent I couldn't tell.
Please answer the question, were you distracted or not?
No, not to a certain extent.
I put it to you that at the time you were so distracted that you could not pay attention to what was around you.
Well, clearly I could have, because I guided myself through the dining hall and towards the ladies' room.
Yes, I put it to you were focused on guiding yourself through the dining hall and so could not focus on ambient noise.
I was not focused on the ambient noise, I only heard the laugh and while guiding myself through to the ladies' room.
I put it to you that you could not have recognized Claire's laugh amongst the vomiting.
I could have.
And so, I want to talk a bit about what happened on Thursday, the 25th of April. You say that you snuck into Ms. Harmon's apartment, correct?
Correct?
Please explain to the court how precisely you got in.
Well, Claire was taking Barbie to practice, so the apartment was vacant. And I got in because she at the door.
Okay.
Also,
And she wasn't aware you'd gone in?
at the time, I don't believe so, but I'm not sure.
But she didn't give you permission, did she?
No.
So you and you knew you didn't have permission.
Yes.
And so you trespassed into her apartment, correct?
Yes.
And you say that you saw some laxatives in her bathroom cabinet, correct?
Sure.
Do you remember what the laxative was?
What's a what?
Like, what laxative was it? There are many, after all.
It was. It's the laxative used for medication. It was laxative that was prescribed.
It was prescribed, and you remember nothing else about it.
No.
And you're aware that most laxatives take several hours to activate, yes?
Yes.
From the moment you drank, you had 2.5 hours.
Yes.
I put it to you that there is no way she could have poisoned you with laxative.
No, because I only knew it was prescribed laxative. I don't know what kind of nature it is, whether it's fast functioning or not. I don't know, so it could have been possible.
Prescribed so, going then back to the party, you'd agree that you're a polite person?
Sorry.
You'd agree that you're a pretty polite person, right?
Yes.
And paragraph 7, you enjoy conversation?
I enjoy the conversation, yes.
Mm. And so, you say that when Claire got up, a woman caught your attention, correct?
Correct.
What did you talk about?
We talked about the award.
Yeah. And what did she look like?
The woman. She was, I'd say, she was a white woman. She was around, she was white. She had a quite skinny face, wore glasses, and her most distinctive feature was her ears. They were a bit larger than usual. That's good.
Yeah, and so you'd agree you remember her pretty well then?
Yes.
Okay. And now, taking you then to Claire at paragraph 8 of your statement,
Yes.
she was doing something with her hands. What was she doing?
She was moving. All I can say is she was moving suspiciously around the drinks.
Yes, but what does that mean?
That means I could see her, the drink, there were 2 drinks, and basically she was just moving her hands suspiciously.
Can
I
you
guess.
show the court how she was moving her hands?
Like this.
So she was swirling her palm above the drink. This.
Potentially was like,
Potentially.
I could see this part.
So you could see, what could you see?
I could see from here down to here, and this part was around where the glasses.
Okay, so what you saw was that she put her arm kind of like this over the glasses, but you couldn't see her hands. Yeah.
Yes, that's why I can only say suspiciously in my statement.
Okay, so. And so, taking you then to paragraph 7, you sat down next to Claire, right?
Sure.
And in your statement, you didn't mention where Claire was sitting,
No.
so you didn't notice where she was sitting then.
She was seated several tables away from me, that's all.
When you sat down next to her. at
When I sat
paragraph
down.
7. Yes. So you didn't notice where she was sitting then.
Oh, sorry. She was next to me. Yeah.
And at paragraph 8, you say that Claire went across the room,
Yes, she went across the room.
so your table must have been on one side of the room, correct?
It was on that side of the room.
Not in the middle?
Sorry. Can you just repeat the question you said? Say it again.
So first question was, your table must have been on one side of the room, to which you said yes. And my next question was, so your table wasn't in the middle, correct?
No, I don't believe so. It was on one side.
So it must have been pretty close to the wall, yeah?
Yes, but which wall are you talking about?
The opposite wall of punch bowl says she went across the room in your statements. And so the punch bowl, was it on kind of your left, on the left side of the room, or the right side of the room? From your perspective.
From my perspective, it was on the left side.
And Claire went, therefore, from what you told me, went across the entire length of the room.
Yes?
And this room, as you said, there were a lot of people, yes?
Yes, but
Thank you. And there were other tables between your table and the far side, correct?
there were tables,
Yeah.
that's true.
And people must have been sitting at those tables, correct?
They were not all fully occupied, but yes, they were.
Yes, there were quite some. Now, Claire, you said was sitting next to you. So taking you back to this other woman, she couldn't have been sitting next to you, right?
She was across from me.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she was in a similar direction. If you were to project where Claire is, where I was, she was close to that kind of direction. So in front of me, but a bit to the left.
She was a bit to the left.
Yeah, to the left.
Now, and you said you were on the left side.
Claire went left to get punched. I was on the opposite side of the punch table.
Okay. Now, I put it to you that when you were talking to the woman, you were focused on her.
No,
You just described her with quite a bit of detail.
yes, I talked to her, but I had detail, but that was because, as I said at the very start, I said I agree that I was a photo person. As soon as I saw her face, and I was not my first time seeing her, because when I sat down at the table, I already noticed and everyone on the table, so I already had a rough collection of what she was. So that's how I was able to recall her appearance.
I put it to you that when you were talking to the woman, you could not have noticed what Claire was doing.
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. I put it to you that the woman was between you and Claire at the time.
It was not true.
I put it to you that there were tables and there were people between you and Claire when she was there.
Yes, but it was only two
I put
tables.
it to you that those people and the table obstructed your view.
No, I didn't.
I put it to you that between the woman whom you have described in excruciating detail, the table and the people, you could not have seen what Claire was doing.
I couldn't.
I put it to you that all you saw was her moving her hand up the glass, even if you saw anything at all.
Yes, I did see it. Yes.
Now, apologies.
Yeah, that concludes the prosecution's case.
May it please the court. This case concerns what happened on the evening of the 20th of April. My learned friend contends that Miss Harmon Sparks did, on that night, spike Miss Vander Digby's drink in contravention of Section 38A2 of the Crimes Act. They have got to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt, meaning they must prove two things. First, they must prove that Miss Harmon Sparks caused Miss Vander Digby to be given a drink containing an intoxicating substance which Miss Vander Digby was not aware of. And second, in so doing, intended Miss Vander Digby to be harmed by the consumption of that food or drink. Nothing of the sort happened. As we expect to deduce from the defense witness, on the night of the 20th, Miss Harmon Sparks was responsible for organizing the gala where Miss Vander Digby was to be awarded her prize. When Miss Vander Digby arrived, she teetered over to Miss Harmon Sparks and sat next to her. Miss Harmon Sparks provided a glass of punch, and only punch, to Miss Vander Digby, who downed it in a single breath. When Miss Vander Digby was to be given her prize, she approached the stage in a drunken manner and began vomiting profusely. As such, the defense's contention is that none of the elements of the offense were made out. The punch contained only alcohol, and even if it didn't, there was no intention on the part of Miss Harmon Sparks to serve anything other than punch. For these reasons, Your Honours, the Crown has not satisfied its burden in this matter, and the charges must fail. May it please the court. I call upon the witness for the defence. Thank you. I understand this is a very intimidating environment, so please take your time to answer these questions and direct your answers to their honours over there, if you would. We'll start off with some fairly introductory questions. Can you please tell the court your name?
Claire Harmsbox,
How old are you?
44.
Where you live?
Lara.
And where? And what is your job?
I work as a government aide and local politician.
Yeah. And what was your past relationship with Lorena?
I've known her for most of my life, and we became friends at our dance class when we were both preschool age, and we attended the same primary school, and we've been close for all our adult
Thank
lives.
you. Can you please describe, how would you describe your relationship?
It was close, but at times it was tumultuous. Lorena and I toured Europe together, but yes, sometimes it was tumultuous, but most of it was close.
Mm. And so, what's the recent relation?
Well, recently I was made maid of honor. I made her maid of honor at my wedding, and she's the godmother of my 17-year-old son, Barnaby. But recently, I believe, she ended up marrying my ex-husband, Ahmad, and I was quite mad at that.
Now,
Because
you said that your relationship was tumultuous. Was there anything in the past which made you think that?
well, she had a habit of stealing what's mine. She stole my pencils out of a pencil case.
I object, Your Honour. My letter friend is relying on tenancy evidence, and under Section 97, this has very low probative value. It doesn't speak to any of the evidence.
We're happy to strike that. Now, I'd like to take you to the evening of the 20th of April. Can you tell me what this event is about?
It was a PNC fundraising gala for Road Foundation.
And what is the Road Foundation?
Road Foundation provided funding to support orchestras across Australia, and it's close to my heart because I love music and went out to a lot of particular things.
Right. And so what was your role in this event?
I played an important role in organising the gala, and I provided a setup, which was around 5:30.
What was Lorena's role in that event?
Lorena was an award recipient, and she also helped execute.
And so since Lorena was coming, what was your plan when she arrived?
I planned to avoid her, and if I was forced to a conversation with her, I would try to remain chill.
And so this gala was important. So what did you wear at the gala? What did you wear to the gala?
I wore very fancy dress.
And can you describe the gala hall?
The gala hall was very packed. By the time of arrival, the gala hall was obviously in the setting up. It was quite a large hall, and by the time she arrived, the room was already full of people.
And when did Lorena arrive?
Laura arrived at 7:30.
Yep. What happened when she arrived?
By the time she arrived, the maids had been served, and I was upstairs, so everyone noticed her at entrance.
Yep. What happened next?
So I was minding my own business.
I object, Your Honour. It's a Brandon Dunn issue. My learner friend has not put to my witness, Ms. Digby, that she was not agitated by the presence. Now the defense witness is saying that she was just minding her own business. That is a clear contradiction of the statement of my witness.
Could you rephrase the question, please?
Yep. Can you describe Lorena?
Well, Lorena just, Lorena came over and looked at me, came over and teared over to my table.
Yep. And what did she do next?
She herself right to the seat and we began talking.
Can you describe Lorena?
Lorena looked a bit pale and uneasy, like she had flu.
I object, Your Honor. That's an opinion. It's not an expert opinion. The witness is not a doctor, and that's clearly a medical diagnosis.
Your Honor, it's a lay opinion under Section 78. It's just how the witness saw Lorena and necessary so the court may understand how her perception of the witness.
Yes, I'll allow that.
That's the court case.
Okay. Can you please continue to answer?
She did greet me politely after that.
What happened next?
The conversation started pretty pleasantly. She told me that she missed me, and I echoed that back. But then it became quite unpleasant. She started telling me all about her great life.
And how did you react?
I just grit my teeth and thought it.
What happened next?
But then she started bragging about her relationship with my son. All the time we spent together, all the school events she attended, and all the motherly love she was showing by getting involved in the DNC.
Yeah. And what was the thing that's both the coach said that stood out to you?
She said, I'm going to give Barbie lots of brothers and sisters, and that just became too much.
And how did you respond?
So I just escaped the conversation, and what I did then was to volunteer and to get both of us some lunch.
Yeah. And so what happened next?
So I went to the punch bowl on the opposite side of the room, put out 2 glasses, and brought them back to the table.
What happened next?
And I offered Lorena one of the glasses, and she snatched it up.
I object, Your Honor. It's another Brown and Dunn issue. This wasn't put to my witness. My witness said that Ms. Harden-Sparks offered her the one that was further away from her. The witness now is saying that she just snatched one up instantly. It's not fair to my witness.
Would you rephrase it, counsel?
Can you re-describe what happened when you got back to the table?
Well, when I got back to the table, I put both glasses down, and I insisted and offered on one of the glasses to Lorena.
What happened next?
I said, bottles up, and she downed her entire drink without taking a breath. And I sipped it.
And so Lorena, can you describe how Lorena picked up the glass you offered?
She picked it up eagerly.
All right. What happened after she downed her entire drink?
Without explanation, she just got up and went back to her table.
Yep. And how did you spend the rest of the evening?
I just sipped on my single glass of punch, and I went to my table. I didn't interact with Lorena at all.
What happened at around 10 p.m.?
That was the rest of the ceremony.
And so what happened when Lorena's name was called?
When Lorena's name was called, I heard a yell coming from the table when she stood up, and I watched as Lorena walked up to the stage. She was swaying from side to side, and she had a silly grin on her face. She looked definitely. She was
Objection, Your Honor.
And
That's another opinion. It's not that she seemed drunk. She was definitely drunk.
Witness seemed afraid of it, but in the case, there are times that concludes examination chief and senior court.
Ms. Harden-Sparks, can you see me?
yes,
Can you hear me clearly?
yes.
Ms. Harden-Sparks, I know I talk a bit fast, and if you ever need me to slow down at any point, just tell me and I'll slow down. I'll repeat anything, okay? So I want to take you to the topic of Miss Digby. You were best friends with her?
Yes.
At one point, yeah. And you met during preschool, right?
Yes.
And you stayed friends with her all throughout until adult life.
True.
You toured Europe together.
Yes.
You made her your maid of honor
Yes.
and made her the godmother to your son, Barnaby.
Yes.
Now, Miss Digby developed a relationship with your ex-husband, Armand, right?
That's true.
And this relationship must have developed whilst Armand was still with you.
The marriage had broken down by then, but yes, she.
So it was during when you were still married to Armand.
Yes.
Right? You must dislike Miss Digby for that.
Yes.
And you think that she stole Armand from you, right?
Yes.
And you said in your statement that you're mad at Miss Digby, not that you're mad at Armand, right?
No, I was not.
And you said also that you think it was unforgivable. For the sake of fairness, it's a paragraph 3, if you want to refer to your statement.
Yes. I was mad, but I didn't wish anything.
It was unforgivable to you, right?
I could forgive.
You said in your statement.
Sorry,
It was unforgivable.
Yes, sorry.
No, that's true, right? Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Miss Harmon Sparks, you spend every second week with Barnaby, right?
Yes.
Why not every week?
Because every second, other second week, every other week, Barnaby spends time with Lorena.
So she gets 1 week with us, with your biological son, and you get 1 week with your biological son.
That's true.
And Barnaby is your biological son, right?
That is true.
Are you aware that they had, and you've heard the evidence before, you were aware that they had family dinners together?
Yes.
Miss Digby and Barnaby, they play dance sometimes?
Yes.
And I believe the term that they used was they live it up.
Yeah.
So, not only did Miss Digby steal your husband, she also stole your son.
Objection, Your Honor, this is, it's an improper question.
Which, on what limb?
Under section 21,
Which,
the question that she stole her son.
why is that?
It is improper because, firstly, that's a warranted point, and second of all, it's hardly relevant to what's happened here.
My other friend is making an objection that it's unduly annoying, harassing, intimidating, offensive, but the legislators put it there as unduly because it was a very high test to be hit. I'm simply putting it to the witness in a very calm way. I'm not raising my tone in any sense.
Is that under section?
41.
Can you rephrase the question?
Did you think that Miss Digby stole your son? No? Were you jealous of Miss Digby for getting involved with your son?
Yes, I was.
You were jealous?
I was
A little jealous?
a little bit.
Just a little jealous that someone else is spending time with your biological son for once every 2 weeks. Just a little jealous?
Not jealous enough to warrant any harm.
So just a tiny bit jealous. Okay. Now I want to take you to the topic of the Parents and Citizens Association. You are the former president,
Yes.
and you said in your statement that you were a godsend to the PNC.
That's true.
You're a good member, right?
I believe so.
And they liked you. They must have liked you because you probably had a good relationship with your son Barnaby.
Yes.
How long has Miss Digby been in the PNC?
3 months.
That's much shorter than you, right?
That is true.
You were the former president. She's only been here for 3 months, right?
Yes.
But she won the award.
Yes, you did.
She won. Now, what's the award for?
Most valued.
Pardon?
Most. The most valued parent.
most valued parent award. Oh, okay, so parent to Barnaby, right? She doesn't have any other kids. And Barnaby's your biological son.
Yes.
So she won an award for being the most valued parent to your biological son.
That's true.
You didn't win any award that night?
No.
You didn't win an award despite being the former president? Did you win an award? Oh no, you didn't, right?
No.
You didn't win an award despite being a godsend to the PNC.
No, that the most no.
You didn't win despite, as you said, blessing them with your people skills.
Your Honor, my learned friend has asked the same question about 3 times.
You know, I'm asking I'm putting different statements to the witnesses from the statements of the witnesses.
The question here is, did you or did you not win the award?
The question is, you didn't win the award. You didn't win the award despite something. That's there's a great difference between them.
As a matter of substance, there is no difference in the fact that's been proven.
Counsel, what's the relevance of the question?
The relevance of the question is to prove the motivation of Ms. Harman Sparks as to why she would have committed the offences. It's highly relevant.
If it were relevant and sufficient to ask once, did you win the award or not?
Well, as counsel, I should have the discretion to put the question in a way that is appropriate and effective.
Yes, I allow the question.
So you didn't win an award despite having organizational talent at every annual dinner.
Not at this one, no. Not at this one.
And you said, I'll just put these statements to you, okay? So you were at the sidelines of every water polo game, you attended every European tour at school orchestras, and despite all of this, you didn't win an award.
No, not the most valued parent award.
And she won the award.
She won the
This
most.
week we won the award with
Yes.
your child.
Yes.
Oh, you dislike her for that, right?
Obviously, I was jealous.
And you're jealous,
For
very
that
jealous,
award.
very jealous.
Again, not to the extent
What's the
to
very
harm.
Very jealous, or just
Jealous.
jealous? Just jealous. No. You have a big role in the PNC, right?
I still have a role, yes.
A big role, because you're the former president, right? And you're a part of organizing the event.
I did organize it then.
And you were there since 5:30 to set up, even though it started at 6, right?
Yes.
You said you're passionate about music,
Yes.
and that's why you have a great interest in the Rowan Foundation, which was part of the reason why the fundraiser was there in the first place.
That's true.
So, part of the reason why the gala was held was also a fundraiser for the Rowan Foundation, and the second part was to give awards, right?
That's true.
So
Yes.
to give awards to most valued parents, such as Miss Dickey.
Yes.
Now, you knew beforehand that she was going to accept that award that day.
Yes, I knew.
You said you knew the current president of the PNC.
Am I mistaken?
You said you trained and taught him.
Yes.
So you knew that he'll be presenting the awards on stage.
Yes.
Well, you must have also known that Miss Digby on that night at 10 o'clock was going to go on stage to get an award, right?
Yes, I knew that I organized it.
And you perhaps knew this a few weeks beforehand because you were organizing it. Is that reasonable?
Yes, because I organized it, yes.
Now I want to take you to the conversation that you had with Miss Digby. She started telling you about her married life with Amar. It's a paragraph.
Yes.
Must be a paragraph
Yes.
7 in this thing, yes. And what does that involve? What does married life mean?
Married life mainly about the relation. Mainly about she mainly focused on raising my child in that conversation. Not just
So she started telling you about what it's like to be married to Amar, but you must have already known that, right? Because you were married to Amar at one point.
I would have known it, yeah.
So you said you grit your teeth and bore it, right?
Yes.
And at that point, you must have been unhappy about it.
Yes. Was I?
Yeah, you were unhappy. And then she started bragging about her relationship with Barnaby, right?
True.
She started bragging about her relationship with your biological son.
Yeah.
And she started telling you about all the time that they spent together,
Yes.
all the school events that she attended with.
Yes, that's all.
And I can read from your statement, or the motherly love that she gives your biological son.
Yes.
She also said that she was going to get involved more with the Parents and Citizens Association, right?
True.
And that was because of Barnaby, right?
True.
Now you joined the PNC because of Barnaby, right?
Yes.
And now she's doing the same thing.
Yes.
And after that, you were even more unhappy about this, right? Even more so than before.
Especially when she said, I'm going to give Barnaby a
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So she said, can you say that again? So she said, I'm going to give Barnaby lots of brothers and sisters, right?
Yes.
So she implies she's going to have more kids with her mom, your ex-husband.
Yes.
So this might be a bit crude, but your former friend is implying that she's going to have some more sex with your ex-husband to your face.
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, under section 41, the use is undue and harassing.
You know, there's an exception under section 41 specifically which says that it is not improper just because the topic is considered distasteful or private information. I'll rely on that.
Rephrase the question, please, counsel.
You've had children with your mom, right?
Yes, Barnaby.
And said now, Ms. Digby is putting it to you that she's going to have some more children with her mom.
Yes.
Now after this, you must have become so heated, right? Because you said you had to escape the conversation, right?
Yes.
So you got even more angry.
I didn't want to hear it. I didn't really want to
You
hear
didn't want
it.
to, and it was making you mad, right? It will make anyone mad, right? So you had to walk off to cool off, right?
Yes.
And I put it to you that you, at this point, you hated it. You agree with this?
At that point, I disliked what she was saying.
You hated it. Yes or no?
He defined hate.
That's up to you. Did you dislike her to the extent where, no, you didn't. You didn't hate her. Despite her saying all of those things, you didn't hate her at all? Did you like her?
No.
You must have disliked her, right?
Disliked.
Yeah. You weren't just unhappy. You must have hated her, right? It's not an unreasonable reaction.
By my definition, no. I will.
By your definition, you didn't hate for all of this.
Hate.
Now, I want to talk about the punch itself. Whose idea was it to get punched?
It was my.
Your idea. So, you volunteered to get drinks for her.
Yes.
So she didn't suggest anything? She didn't suggest that, oh, I want a punch. She didn't say that.
Not explicitly, no.
So it was fully your idea to get her punched.
Yes.
Now, you said in your statement that she was very enthusiastic about this punch.
Yes.
And this is, to be clear to the court, this is alcoholic punch, right?
Yes.
And you said in your statement that she was a big drinker when you were younger?
That's true.
So you've been friends with her for a long time, right?
Yes.
And since preschool, all the way until adulthood.
Yes.
So you know that she loves alcohol.
Yes.
You know that she never learned restraint.
Yes.
So you knew that if you offered her some alcohol, she wouldn't reject it, right?
She would.
She wouldn't. Now, when you went up to grab the punch, you grabbed it alone? It was just you going up to getting the punch, right?
Yes.
And Miss Digby was on there with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And she was sitting at the table.
Tuesday.
Was there anyone else at the punch station around you?
Yes.
Yeah. Who was around you?
I cannot recall.
Yeah. But there were people around you.
Yes, there were people.
Do you remember what they looked like?
I was focused on getting a punch.
But you were very certain that there were people standing right next to you, close to you, right?
Yes, because I could hear people talking.
You hear people talking, and that's important information, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because if there's people around you, you can just say that, oh, I can't possibly have put laxatives in the drink because there were people around me, right? It's very important, right? Simple question. Is it important or not?
Yes.
It is important, very important. And you affirm that that's the truth, that there were people around you at that time.
Yes, I'm not sure what this is.
Do you remember making a statement?
Yes, I did.
And it was police who made you make a statement, right?
Yes.
It was right after when the events occurred. Soon after.
Soon after.
And you agree that your memory back then was, can I please finish this point? You agree that your memory back then was better than it is now.
I agree.
And the police made you sign this statement
Yes.
to affirm that it was true.
Yes.
To affirm that, and if the police told you that when you were making a statement, you need to put as much detail in it as possible.
Yes.
And the police also told you that if you remembered anything, you could go make another statement.
Yes.
Did you make another statement?
No, this is not what I'm saying.
You have your statement in front of you.
Yes.
Can you please tell us what paragraph did you say that there were people around you at the punch station? Point to it for us. It's not there, is it? You didn't put it in the statement. Why didn't you put it in the statement?
Because I was unsure how close they were to be able to observe what I was doing.
Oh, so you were just unsure about things. Is that what you're saying? You don't remember properly? You don't remember what happened?
I just heard people talking. I was unsure how.
But I understand that, but you said you were certain that there were people around you, right? You were very certain there were people around you.
Yeah.
You were very certain that there were people around you.
Council, you need to ask the court for time permission.
Your Honor, I seek leave to have just a 3-minute extension. I apologize.
Yes, 2 minutes, Council.
It was very, but you just said it was very important information. It was very important information, right?
That people
Were around you.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I could not testify to how close
That they were right next to you? I asked you before if they were close to you. You said yes.
No, I was unsure of the proximity.
I asked you if they were close to you. You said yes. I said you're pretty certain.
Sorry, was there a question?
Did you put in your statement or not? Was it important? Why didn't you put in your statement? That's the question. Why didn't you put it?
Because I was unsure
You
of the
just,
proximity.
like you
I
said
felt
before that it
everyone.
was, you were sure that there were people around you.
Yes, there were.
Why didn't you put that in your statement, that there were people around you? You don't know. Well, I put it to you that you didn't put in your statement because you just made it up on the spot just then. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Or I put it to you that you just made it up just then because it helps your story. Do you agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Well, I put it to you that you're trying to make things up because you put that laxative or you put some other kind of intoxicating substance in Mr. V's drink. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Do you have a closing statement?
May it please the court. If this case is about one thing, it's about common sense. It's for you to decide, Your Honor, which of these witnesses you find more credible and which of these narratives you wish to believe. We remind you that the complainant has shown herself to be an unreliable witness. She could not remember how much she drank. This is an individual, Your Honors, who in pursuit of nothing but mere speculation committed trespass. And even after committing the trespass, she could not even recall precisely what she found. This is an individual who claimed to be able to describe a conversation she had in excruciating detail and simultaneously see what the defendant did across the room between several tables. On the other hand, the defendant dislikes the complainant, certainly, but dislike is not a criminal offense. What matters is that the Crown have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the elements of Section 38A2 are made out. And as for the first element, that there was an intoxicating substance, it has been adduced that way from the complainant that when pressed, there was nothing out of the ordinary in the glasses. Nothing in the taste, nothing in the appearance. The glasses were identical. The only laxative that can act within 2 and 2.5 hours is a saline laxative. That's clear. It would have diluted the glasses. She cannot remember what she did or how much she drank. Much could happen in 2 hours. All the witness could say was that Miss Hartman's arms moved. She could not even say with any detail what the hands were doing beyond a vague swirling motion. From the defendant's evidence, she wore a dress, and quite regrettably, dresses do not tend to have pockets. And as for the question of motivation, my learned friend has led significant amounts of evidence as to motivation, but animus is not the same as mens rea. Their case rests entirely upon the hate arriving during the gala, at the moment when the complainant spoke of having children with the ex-husband. But to bring laxatives, it would need to be premeditated. All the evidence that has been alleged today is circumstantial and based on motivation. For these reasons, we seek that the defendant be acquitted. May it please the court.
May it please the court, Your Honor. It is a Crown's submission that all the elements of the offence per section 38A have been proved beyond a reasonable doubt. My learned friend raised that there are just circumstances, but this case itself is just a circumstantial case, and that in itself does not weigh against it in any sense. The Crown relies on the following circumstances for each of the elements. The first element is that Ms. Harmon Sparks caused Ms. Digby to be given the drink. In the examination in chief of Ms. Digby, it was said that Ms. Harmon Sparks insisted Ms. Digby to take a certain glass, which was not the one that was closer to her. In the cross-examination of Ms. Harmon Sparks, she admitted that she was the only one that was controlling the drink. And also, I must note that there were no other reports of any other conditions from anyone else who drank punch on that night. The second element is that the drink itself had laxatives inside, which is an intoxicating substance. In examination in chief of Ms. Digby, it was stated that her symptoms described are consistent with laxative overdose. Ms. Digby found laxatives in Ms. Harmon Sparks' home, and Ms. Digby's GP also said that she had been poisoned. In addition, Ms. Digby also saw Ms. Harmon Sparks lingering around the punch bowl for an extended period of time, which is consistent with the act of poisoning. The third element is that Ms. Digby was not aware of the laxatives, and that is clearly established in the examination in chief of Ms. Digby. The fourth is that Ms. Harmon Sparks intended to cause harm to Ms. Digby. In the cross-examination of Ms. Harmon Sparks, it was established that she had a very strong motive. She was angry that Ms. Digby stole her husband, stole Barnaby, and that she spent motherly time with Barnaby. She was also jealous of the award, and she was made even more mad when Ms. Harmon Sparks bragged about her relationship. Ms. Digby bragged about her relationship with Ahmad and Barnaby. As you could also tell from the cross-examination of Ms. Harmon Sparks, she omitted some very important details. In my submission, this shows that her evidence should not be accepted, as obviously there is issues as to her credibility. From these circumstances, Your Honor, the Crown submits that it has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Ms. Harmon Sparks did indeed spike Ms. Digby's drink with the intention to cause harm. We ask that Your Honor return a verdict of guilty. May it please the Court.
All stand. This court is now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming.
That was great.
First time, I never made a past experience. So this is my first time. Thanks. You were good. You don't okay. Thanks for coming.
No,
Do you know how to stop the
at the Claire one, I was like, wait a second, I actually never read this.
Thank you for doing
Guys, if you couldn't tell, I was super
Am I
nervous.
not?
And I was very nervous. I was shaking my legs. So thank God it's on.
Your like dresses don't typically have pockets.
Good point. Yeah.
I was like, you guys did really well. I feel like it's real cold. It was really good. And thank you for judging.
Thank you, Nikki, for judging.
Congrats on that was good. If you